Welcome to itdesk.tv. Now what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how we can go and apply everything that we've done so far and work on an SBA, school-based assessment project, right? Now, everything that I've shown you so far, and you can reference the videos that I'm going to be indicating here on the screen, I'm going to apply that and create an SBA where if you apply this knowledge, you're sure to get an excellent grade, okay? Here is a election project. North, south, east, west, northwest, southwest, east, central. So it's an elections-based SBA, okay? Here's the voter turnout. These are standard here. So I'm telling you that for North, there's a 75% voter turnout, South 85%, and so forth, okay? Now, if you look at the bottom of the screen, I have multiple sheets within the Excel file. So I'm going to show you now how you go about doing this. So you're going to need to have multiple sheets within your Excel spreadsheet when you're doing the SBA, but it must follow a logical order. So let's go on. Elections data backup. Here are the candidates, East, and so forth. Number of voters. And if you recall in the previous one where I said the voter turnout for East is 90%. So over here in the backup, the votes that are cast would be 90% of what the East constituency had. So if you go over here and you see, look at if you look at the formula, you'll see that it's B2 times 90%. That means over on the East, the number of voters are 8,284, and the turnout is 90%. So the votes cast must be 90% of the voter turnout. Then you see me have I have candidates here, and I give all the candidates a rating. Okay, bear that in mind. So I'll move on to the next tab, elections data. We have a refund status, and I want to show you something. In the refund status, we use the if statement, if. So if a candidate's rating, if a candidate's rating is greater than or equal to 20, then we're going to refund. That means if it's not greater than or equal to 20, there will be no refund. And here we have a person here who is less than 20, and the status says no refund. So we're utilizing the concepts that we learned, and this is the if statement. That's the essence of an SBA, utilizing the various concepts that were learned during the period. Okay, here we have a summary. Over in the summary is where we utilize what we call absolute cell addressing, where we used the dollar signs. And look, this is how this worked. The Democratic Actions Party, the DAP, they cast total votes received, 10,715 votes, and the percentage of the votes were what? You have to add up all the votes cast, and this party received 10,715, so it's out of the total votes. And the absolute value that we're taking it out of came from this column, which is in C17. And the amount of votes that each party received must come out of the total votes cast in general. So this is the utilization of the absolute cell addressing with the dollar signs before the row and the dollar sign before the column. We went through that in a previous video. Go and watch that. The next thing that we have here is comparison data by constituents. Now, inside the actual chart, because we did this as well, you see us do the same thing again. We referenced sheets that we have in the Excel file, and we referenced it, and we used absolute cell addressings from off those sheets to create the chart. So we know over in the east, the votes cast. We know um, absenteeism based on the amount of persons who were expected voters, the votes that came in. So we know that the difference between them must be the absenteeism amount, and we create a chart. Okay, you can learn more about this in our video about creating charts. The last thing that we did on this was to create a pivot table. And we went through this. And the pivot shows you each candidate and the sum of the votes they received. So here we are once again, utilizing all the different topics that we've gone through as it relates to Microsoft Excel, and then we put them all together into a concept in order to create an election system. ITdesk.tv, unlocking doors.